Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 16 in the book of 1st Thessalonians. We're wrapping up the final paragraph or so where Paul is giving these last final instructions to this brand new church. This church is only a few months old, so there's a bunch of new believers. And Paul is addressing the issue of what do they need to know right now. And the title of today is, What Are My Duties and to whom are they owed? And he's explaining what are the duties of the leaders and elders, but also what are the duties of the brothers. So listen in here. This is from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 12 and 13. We ask you, brothers, to respect those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Be at peace among yourselves. Let me read it one more time. We ask you, brothers, to respect those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Be at peace among yourselves. So think about this. There's kind of like two categories. There's brothers and sisters. That is those who are in fellowship. And then he's also describing an office. It's described a bunch of different ways in the New Testament, but it's all the same office. Leaders or elders or overseers or shepherds or teachers. Of interest in the ESV, the word that's not used is pastors. That's the word we would frequently use is pastor, and we get that from the shepherding. But of interest, it's not in the ESV, English Standard Version Bible, which many evangelical people use. Anyway, all right. So these two groups of people, the leaders and the brothers, they have responsibilities to one another. So in this passage alone, it tells us, first of all, be brothers, be in fellowship, be among. So the leaders are supposed to be among the brothers, and the brothers are supposed to be brothers and sisters. So they're supposed to be. This passage is in community. So that'd be a teaching point for a lot of people. Is you just got to be in community. The second thing is that the brothers are supposed to be. Have a certain attitude towards the leaders that are over them. And it's a difficult thing to do because who wants to have people over us? Kind of none of us, but that's the way that's what we need. And the respect is part of the equation of the brothers to the leaders, and esteeming, and how should they be esteemed? And the answer here is actually described is esteem them very highly in love. And why? Well, because they have duties towards you, which is to labor among you. That is, it's work to do pastoring and overseeing, and being among the people of God sometimes is no picnic, right? We always say that being in the church of God is going to disappoint you. But they have certain duties, which is to be over and to maybe sometimes have a sharp point if necessary, which is to admonish, but constantly to be working. So they have a noble task. The leaders of the church have a noble task. The brothers also have a noble task. So let's talk some more about the brothership, if you will, the brother and sistership. Hebrews 13 says to remember your leaders. And so what does it mean to remember your leaders? Well, I suppose it means when you make chocolate chip cookies, they might get some. It probably means with salaries. We're not supposed to muzzle the ox while it treads. That is, we owe them something. Maybe even from a financial standpoint. But first of all, we owe them our thoughts. We're supposed to consider their way of life. And then with our boots, which is imitate them, sort of walk the walk. 1 Timothy 5:17 says they should be considered worthy of double honor, not just regular honor, but double honor. Why? Because if they're preaching and teaching and ruling well, they're sort of putting themselves out at double risk, double teaching, double risk, because you're using your tongue, which is the easiest thing to mess up with. And then Hebrews 13:17 says, obey and submit and basically be a joy to your pastor. I think if we go to a church and say, who is a joy to you, your name is supposed to come up off the pastor's lips. So these leaders and elders, they have a noble task. They have a lot of job qualifications. They're supposed to be above reproach and supposed to be able to teach. And then they're supposed to do it like a shepherd and gentle and with humility. Part of it is to give instructions and maybe even a rebuke every once in a while. But overall, be shepherds and overseers with a willing heart and an eager heart, not domineering over the flock, but as examples, and being very sober, because you're going to be judged, and not many should be teaching. So this is a group of people that need to be watchful over the flock, because they're going to be accountable. So this passage here in 1 Thessalonian adds to all this. The big point, I think, today is everybody has a job. The brothers and sisters have a job towards the leaders have a job towards the brothers and sisters, and everybody's job is hard. It's hard to follow, to listen, to be tended, to receive admonishment sometimes. And sometimes it's even hard just to be among the people of God, to be at peace with the people of God. And then certainly sometimes it's hard to esteem and very highly esteem and respect our pastors, because it's hard to be ruled and overseen and shepherded. Similarly, on the other side, it's hard for the pastors, I think, to be among the prickly people of God, and to do it gently and shepherdly, and sometimes with an edge to admonish. So let's all be compassionate towards the person in the church that's not us. If you're a brother and sister in the church, let's be compassionate to our leaders and elders and esteem them very highly. Be respectful, as our passage says today. And if you are an elder or an overseer, then work hard, labor hard, be among, do it willingly, do the oversight with gentleness and not with a harsh edge. So everybody, let's do their jobs and let's be kind to the other people in our church. Thanks for listening.